Well, I guess we know what Negan was doing before The Walking Dead started. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we are going to be talking about the film Desierto. Now this is the Mexican entry for Best Foreign Film for their, I believe, the Oscars or Academy Awards or whatever. And so this is why it's been released in the US, and it stars Gael Garcia Bernal from Mozart in the Jungle, which is an Amazon series which I am a big fan of, and then it also stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan from this season of The Walking Dead, and I haven't really seen him in any other things that I can remember. Now, the general idea of this film is that it focuses on this group of basically illegal immigrants coming from Mexico trying to get into the US. And it focuses primarily on Gael Garcia Bernal's character. And the film starts out by just showing us these two different events which are happening. We have the group of immigrants which are trying to get across the border, and then we also have Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, who is this guy who's an obvious racist. He has a Confederate flag flying on his truck, and he's just drinking gin from a bottle or something, and so he can hold his liquor, but he's just essentially going out hunting for rabbits. He spots this group of immigrants who are trying to pass the border, the ones that we're focusing on, and he just starts opening fire with a sniper rifle and just wipes out a group of them just in about 5 minutes. It's just a very tough scene to watch, and then from there the tension just keeps on going, because by that point we have 4 survivors, and it's just, you don't know who's going to live and how fast this movie is going to end. Right off the bat, the performances in this film are fantastic. Gael Garcia Bernal, this is the first thing that I've seen him in outside of Mozart in the Jungle, and he really impressed me. I haven't seen him do dramatic work before, and I really enjoyed his performance in this movie. I thought he did a very good job. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, holy crap, this guy blew his performance out of the park. There are some emotional scenes that he has, and we just see him be so dead centered on just taking out these guys. At one point you have these two guys just basically going mano a mano, and you know that they're just kind of focused on the goal, either escaping or taking down this one guy, and you know that they're probably not going to get out of this situation alive just because of how stranded they are in the middle of the desert at this point. There's a lot of high tension. The film starts out kind of slow because it just has to set up the situation, but once Jeffrey Dean Morgan starts firing off shots and taking people down, there is a good level of tension for most of the whole entire rest of the film, because he has a dog which is consistently tracking people down, taking them down, and you also just have him tracking these immigrants down and firing off on them. And it's just a very high tension. It doesn't really stop for a very long amount of time. It's just consistent. The film is an hour and a half, and so it makes really good use of that hour and a half to really add as much tension to this film as possible. And one thing I was kind of thinking about as I was watching the film is that different people, depending on your beliefs, are going to have different ideas of who the protagonist and antagonists are in this film. I think the film clearly sets up what it wants to be the protagonist and antagonist, but there are probably some people who are going to view Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character as the protagonist, trying to defend the country against illegal immigrants, and then you have Gael Garcia Bernal's character as the villain trying to get into the country illegally. You could see it in that sense, and I think that some people are going to, and that's what makes the film kind of interesting for me. I didn't view it that way, but I think it's kind of interesting that the film can definitely be viewed in 2 different perspectives. And as this is a foreign film, there are subtitles. There are English subtitles going over the Spanish-speaking characters, but you also have a good amount of mixture between that stuff happening and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, who they don't have to subtitle because he is just speaking English. And I really liked that. A couple months back I saw A Tale of Love and Darkness, starring Natalie Portman. That took place entirely in Hebrew, and I just couldn't find myself getting terribly into it. It wasn't as exciting as a story. This one is much more of an action, suspense, tension thriller, even a horror film to some extent, and that's what really kept my attention and made the subtitles work, in my opinion at least. Now there are some predictable deaths. Once you get to kind of the core group of characters who are trying to outrun Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, you can kind of tell like who's going to die in what order, because people die really quick in this film, and it's very quick about halfway through the film when we get down to our final 2 people, and just kind of the order that people get taken down in, you can kind of tell that's coming. But the special effects in this film are very good. The shots which they use, I don't know if it was filmed on location at all, but it looks just fantastic. You have this whole desert scene going on, and it's a brutally hard film to watch at some points, because you just know by the end, again, you have these two guys who are just going at it, trying to take each other out, and no matter who wins, they're probably both going to end up getting killed. But I did find the ending to be incredibly satisfying. When we get to that point where it's kind of the climax of the film, I was kind of hoping that it was going to end in a certain way, and it does. It ends in that way, which I think is very, very justified for how this film ends up ending for its antagonist. And I just really liked that fact. So guys, yeah, Desierto, it's a really, really good film. Definitely check this thing out if you have the opportunity. And I'm kind of impressed. I haven't seen a lot of foreign films, and I'm definitely curious to see what this director can do in the future. I'm curious to see what Gael Garcia Bernal is able to do in stuff outside of More Story in the Jungle now, as well as Jeffrey Dean Morgan outside of The Walking Dead. So guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, from me people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.